Hello, everybody. This is Alex, also known as The Soul or Alex Will, and I welcome you to my podcast. And this is Listen Within. The episode is called How to Fully Embrace Your Experience. And so many people, well, everybody pretty much wants to experience love. And everybody also doesn't always live in the moment. We tend to plan a future, whether it's in our love relationships or in our job. There are many forms of expectations, of course, and oftentimes we feel hurt, or we have a really good memory of the past and we want to repeat it in the future. Yet we forget that we are in the now, and it's probably easier said than done, but all you can experience is really in the now. So I can say, well, it used to be like this and that and so on and so forth. But it's the past. So you could learn from the past to create a better future, yet you don't live in the future. So all you can do is accept what is in the moment. And so when we have a very hard time letting go, it's usually when we begin to suffer. And all of us been through this, including myself. Let's just say you meet your favorite girl or guy, and you have high hopes, of course, because in the beginning you really inspired. You're like, wow, this is the girl or this is the guy, and I want this. Okay, so you having a experience, you're not even thinking about what it was or what it would be, because it's for the very first time. And according to that, you're just really enjoying the moment and embracing that experience. However, suddenly, let's say there is a breakup or there is a dispute, some people go through divorce, or let's say even if it's about a job, you enjoying your job, you're enjoying your work, but suddenly you're getting fired. And it's not really suddenly, it's a process that takes place in time, and then suddenly you get the news about an upcoming change. Now, everything in life is about change, and you won't be able to prevent that, because change is the only thing that is permanent. Now, if somebody is going through a very hard time, of course, nobody's going to suddenly be in a happy mood and say, hey, I just live in a moment and forget about the past. This is now the past, and I'm just going to move on. But this is where it becomes really important to embrace what you feel right now. We are social beings, we're emotional beings, and whether we want to accept it or not, we do have emotions, but we don't want to have those emotions control us. So very important to understand that you're in control and power of your emotional state, your feelings, etc. And that goes back to being in that moment. Now, it's never too late to be inspired. It's never too late to have hope. It definitely is never too late to fall in love again, to have your favorite job, your dream career, etc. But at this moment in time, let's say there is a resistance, and you want to go through, but you can't. Maybe the door seems very much open, however, you can't get through it. And just because an open door is so apparent in front of your eyes does not mean it's the door you may have to walk in or should walk through. I say that the most important part that I've learned from my own experiences, and I think you can hear the thunder right now, to really accept what is. So let's say I'm taking a cup, I want it, I drink it, but I don't want to let go. Now I'm in between. I want it, but I can't let go. Attachment, detachment. So in reference to, let's say, relationships, any kind of relationships, you accept, you take. You enjoy, of course, what you have at this moment, like the cup of tea. I'm not saying that a person is like a tea, but I'm giving you just an example. You're enjoying this tea or the cup of coffee, and then eventually at some point you have to let go. And that's it. So it's never really just attachment or detachment. It's both. You attach and then eventually detach. And once you find that balance of actually letting go, accepting and letting go, you're no longer really in this place of suffering. Because suffering always is connected to the part that you can't accept, whatever situation it is, whether it's your job, a country that you may have to leave, or a relationship, etc. Now, when we are in the present moment, it also requires, of course, some form of discipline. And it's not like that everybody's going to wake up in the morning and suddenly say, hey, I'm just enjoying the moment. Usually, most of the time what happens is we wake up, we grab our phone, we're thinking about, well, we get influenced by other people, by other situations, but most likely and most commonly we think about our problems. And that's the very first part that a lot of times, people get into. And so now you are in your brain, and we talked about how the brain works. We are in survivor mode. We want to survive, run, we hide, we fight, and we try to calculate and manipulate, etc., what we could possibly do. And so now, again, we're triggered by something in the past, maybe by an image on Instagram or social media, and then we're thinking of the future. So it could be a really good memory that you miss. At the present moment, you're missing something you don't have. You're thinking about the past, what you used to have. So you don't think about what you have. What you're thinking about now is what you don't have. Whether you used to have it or not, but it's ultimately thinking about what you don't have. And now you want to jump to conclusions, go into the future and say, well, I want to have this and this and that because I used to have that on that day, etc. And so in the present moment now, you can't really accept what is. You are not in the moment. And no matter how deep your philosophy might go, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much experience you have, you can't live in the past. And you can't live in the future. And you certainly can control what you don't know. Now, we can, of course, have the purest intentions. We can make plans to be organized. Of course, we have to be organized. But you cannot really control the circumstances on the outside. So it means all you can do is control your perception, your way of looking at things. And as Dr. Wayne Dyer once quoted, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will change. So going back to embracing the experience, if you're going through a really hard time, you're in this emotional state of, let's say, misery, or you can't handle a breakup, you think it's the end of the world, or you feel like you lost your whole identity because of you lost this job or you lost this home. Well, you can change that by changing the way you look at things, meaning changing your perception. It might require some time to do that, but you actually can do that. You have that power within. As you have also a heart, not just your head. And the thing is, the body follows where the mind goes. But what kind of energy is it that holds your body and your mind? It keeps your heart going. The heart is the one organ that keeps pumping since you were born until you go. It never rests. It goes 24 hours all your life. But where does this energy come from? Your will to live, your will to love, the drive to keep going. I refer that as the soul, just like my name. Spirit. A place that you cannot see, that you can only tap into on the inside. Now some may wonder and ask themselves and say, well, what is Alex talking about? I mean, I am just dealing with a terrible divorce, and she said or he said, I don't love you anymore, or I don't feel this connection, I don't see myself this way or that way. Or you have an employee and he says, well, I don't see you are going to be good for a company. Or you go into a talent show and somebody rejects you and says, well, you're a really nice guy, but yeah, I don't think it's going anywhere. How do you react at that moment? What I want you to understand is that it's their perception. Their opinion doesn't define who you are. The circumstances can be created and they can be recreated. That means also feelings can be changed. Some may like you and some suddenly don't like you. But if they can suddenly not like you, they also can suddenly like you again. And this is the same thing with love. This is the same thing with music. You may hit the person on the wrong time of a day. Let's say you went on an audition and the guy that was sitting at the front desk, listening to your audition wasn't in a good mood because he went through or she went through a divorce or losing a lot of money, or who knows what the problem might be. But the thing is this, their opinion doesn't define you. If you're, let's say, single and you want to go out and you feel you're not worthy enough of asking someone out on a date, or you have an experience to be constantly rejected, or you've been teased as a child, constantly having this negative impact that might have caused this feeling to carry on of not feeling worthy. You understand that you are worthy. You have all the potential, all the love. Now, you could be all confident all you want and try to convince your boss or ex-boss, try to convince your girlfriend or ex-girlfriend, wife. You could try to do a lot of things, and then you find out, wow, but I can't convince this person who I really am. They just don't believe me. They have an experience of you because your present moment isn't really in the present moment. You are somewhere in the past, or you're very worried about the future. And so you're not embracing the present moment. You can learn again to enjoy the present moment. And when you're in your heart, when you have the right intention, knowing what you want, where you want to go, what you see is only the experience of joy, love, versus being in your brain, thinking of the past and feeling some kind of pain or disappointments, etc. Also, worrying so much about the future, what will be if I do such and such, and you're so afraid of maybe being rejected again, going through the pain that you experienced in the past. But you don't have to do it. All you really have to do, if you want to do it, is to remember actually the future. This is a really cool one right here. It's triggering something. You can actually envision, just like meditation, thinking of something you want to experience, how you see yourself. Visualize who you want to become, how your girlfriend is interacting with you, how do you attract the right love in your life, the right work, money, health, all of these things. And then you can take this feeling back into your body. And your body, your brain, immediately will have a different level of frequency. There's a chart I want to share with you. I'm going to post that later, or edit it in the video. You will see the different levels of frequencies. It starts with the very bottom of shame, going all the way into eternal love. So, you have the power to change everything within you. No matter what anybody thinks of you, no matter how disappointed you get, because obviously you have expectations and you have high hopes. Hope is the last thing that shall die. You should never lose your hope. It doesn't matter how difficult it is, no matter how heartbroken you may seem, but never lose hope, because you have every tool inside of you. You have an uncountable number of gifts inside your brain, your heart. Your spirit is the driving force. So as long as you remember that, and never quit because somebody thinks you're not good enough, or maybe even somebody's just being polite and they don't really feel that you're it, or they're not convinced about you, but they're just telling you, okay, Just keep on going, you're alright. You can feel in an instant if it feels eternally right, if it feels something you can resonate with, somebody speaking with you. But you also have the power how to react to that and how to attract the right people in your life that vibe with you. You know, the right vibe attracts the right tribe. Yeah, it's an old saying that I've learned. And you are in charge of what you attract in your life. So it starts with just embracing the moment. Whether you're going through sadness or joy or happiness, this is the moment of now. If you didn't do well, you pick yourself up again. Okay, let it stay in the past. I'm going to be here now. And you maybe screw up again. Okay, accept, let go, move on into the next moment, the moment of now. What I am saying now eventually is never more, as time goes on. Time transcends time. But just remember that you're in charge of every present moment. And it's, you know, there's no guarantee to make things always perfect. The idea is not to look for perfection. Perfection is imperfection. Imperfection is perfection. Meaning that everything is just right in the present moment, no matter how you look at it. So change your perception, be in the moment, and keep pushing. Until next time, this was the episode Embracing the Moment, and I see you guys soon. Peace out.